All right. I want to get some things off my mind. It's really late at night or early in the morning, depending on your perspective. But I want to talk about being a shy young boy with little awareness. And what I mean by awareness is just not being present enough. I was always in my own world and I really didn't pay much attention to the people or things around me. So imagine you're in school, right? And for context, I was a precocious young kid. I was really good at music for whatever reason, and grew up in America, East Coast. Just to give you a little bit of background, maybe 20 something years ago, right? And I remember feeling really shy a lot as a kid. And instead of just, sitting in the corner like a little wallflower or whatever, I would just like read a book, or I would play Pokemon on my Game Boy or something. Like, I would just not allow myself to be shy long enough that I'd want to get out of my shell, or I'd want to talk to the other kids at school in the playground or something. And it is so important to feel that emotion, be shy as a young boy, and then get pushed into coming out of your shell, right? Do something that's going to let you not be so shy, because that shyness is going to turn into anxiousness and anxiety when you're older, right? And how many young anxious guys are there now? It's crazy. There's so many guys in their late teens, their 20s, hell, even into their 30s, that are shy and anxious and just can't, do anything in the world. And that's the problem with not being present or aware. You need to be able to do things and act in the world as a man. And that's something I've been learning a lot lately in my career. I cannot get ahead or do anything if I was really shy, right? I need to be proactive. I need to engage. I need to be present and aware of the people around me. And for a little bit more context, I'm in a artistic field. I'm a professional in that field. And if I want to progress and be better and, get my standard of living up and all that good stuff, I can't afford to be shy. Shyness will cost you so much. Yeah. And that's really it, man. So the cost of being shy, the cost of not being aware, the cost of not being present. So we talked about the shyness part, the part of not being aware. Aware doesn't mean like, an intelligence thing, like, oh, you're not aware because you're so stupid or you're ignoring something. No, it's not being aware of other people. Like, you're just so stuck in your own world, or you choose to escape it all the time, that you can't process other people. You can't acknowledge other people exist in a way that you would have to reflect on them and let them reflect to you. When like you were a kid and you'd like play with other kids or whatever, you would engage and play with them. You wouldn't just be like a bully and just take charge and say like, oh, I'm gonna play with myself and you're gonna watch. That sounds wrong, but like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, just like take the ball and go somewhere, right? Like take all the toys away or whatever and just play with it by yourself. You have to engage with other people. You have to acknowledge the fact that they exist and then allow space for them to engage you, as opposed to just shutting them down, and you just have all the control. I think a lot of like lonely kids do that, or kids that are trying to figure themselves out do that a lot. Like the bullies kind of come about that way or whatever. And it's not malicious. I don't think kids do it on purpose, right? They just don't know any better. Whether it's like neglectful parents or just a lack of, guidance or whatever it is. Like, I don't think kids aren't born mean, right? Like, nobody's born mean. I think that's a learned thing, and I think that comes from just not knowing any better, not knowing how to engage people. And I think that can lead to like compounding, like a domino effect as you get older, as you avoid learning how to engage with people, as you avoid learning how to be aware. That's like the aggressive salesman, right? Like you walk into a dealership and they're just all over you, and people want to engage you. People want to buy a car, people want to have a positive experience and get to know you better. And if you don't allow that to happen because you're so aggressively unaware, whether you are conscious of it or not, is going to be a detriment. And that's something you have to learn, or you just have to learn how to be alone, which I think is much, much harder. I mean, be alone in like the grand sense of like, oh, I'm going to live off grid, I'm going to move away from society, I'm going to like actively be alone. I think that's a much harder path to walk, and that was something I was considering, but I'm at a different point in my life now. So to be unaware is to miss opportunities, right? You miss a chance to have positive relations with people. You miss a chance to, practically, like you miss a chance to like get a sale at, your job or whatever it is. Like you just miss opportunities. And how you build that awareness is just by constantly taking stock of yourself and saying, what could I do better? Or could this situation have turned out any differently had I been more cautious in my approach, or just had a better mindset going in? It's like that confidence bullshit people say, like, oh, just walk into a room and assume that everybody already likes you. Some of that stuff works. Some of that normie to your, Reddit bullshit does work. But if you're dwelling on the 2chan and whatever else online all day, or you were just a lonely kid or something, or you just weren't doing that well in high school, isolated in college, like it is really, really hard to develop that ability to be aware of yourself and presence of other people. That is definitely something people, especially young men now, need to cultivate. And it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to go on and do. And that's the detriment of being shy, and the detriment of not being aware, and then the detriment of not being present. Being present, being actively engaged in the moment, meaning you're at a job interview, right? You're applying for McDonald's or whatever it is, like your first job or something, and you're just kind of checked out. Like, you're not really listening to people. You're kind of just hearing the words, but not actively listening to what's being told or what's happening around you. You don't remember people's names. You don't actively try to engage with the job and do well, no matter what it is. You just kind of phone it in because you were that shy, precocious child, and you were younger, and you were really good at like playing the recorder or something, or you were just that gifted, kid at football who fell off after high school because you got an injury or something. Like, you had talent, you had ability, and then you just lost it somewhere along the way, and you just never recovered. And then what that's going to happen is, lead you to not be present or engage with people, and you're going to just think less of them right off the bat, and that's insane. You don't even know these people. And you make that huge assumption on your part about them, and you project all these negative qualities on the people because you're not present, because you don't think they're worth your time. And that is a really that's a really difficult situation to be in. And let's say you're on the extreme end of that, and you are applying for a career, something you're really passionate about, and you got this golden opportunity, and you're around people that are present, that are aware, and you're not present. It is immediately known to like the higher ups, to like the people around you. They're gonna know you're not trying, that you don't really want it, that you're not actively engaged in what you're doing, and that's gonna reflect on their bottom line. That's gonna reflect on their numbers. That's gonna reflect to their clientele. That's gonna reflect to the company bigwigs, whatever it is. Like people that are serious about what they're doing, and they're gonna know when you're not serious. They're gonna see it in you. It's gonna be clear as day. And how you build the ability to be present is persistent action towards that goal. Like a good way to kind of build awareness in the moment, like literally, is to like go to the gym consistently. And like when you're working a muscle group, like you're working arms or you're working chest or something, like try to really feel the muscle being worked, like feel the the fibers being stretched, and then the pain being activated or whatever else, and like you're physically straining and lifting this object with heavier than it's comfortable for you to carry, and you're just actively feeling the tension. You are present and engaged in the moment, and then you apply that mentally and emotionally to other people, and then suddenly you're a great conversationalist. Suddenly you're 2 inches taller because you hold your head up more, because you're not staring down on the floor all the damn time, because you're looking people in the eye. You're engaging with people in a way that makes them feel that they are present with you. And that goes a long way. And that's the difference from, this shy young kid who had potential to losing that somewhere in his adolescence, and then just being this shut-in, awkward, freak loser dude in his late teens, 20s, or even 30s, and you just can't interact with people because you were shy, and then that shyness developed into anxiety, which made you cope and be unaware of things that people who didn't have to go through that are. And then when you're not aware, you're not present. And then when you're not present, you develop all these other problems and issues that affect your life on every single level. And that's a tough place to be in, man. I can't picture a better way to like paint hell in the real world, is just not having those things, especially as a young man, a young boy, whatever it is. So if you see that shyness, man, like really try to address it. And if you're an anxious or unaware or not present dude, and if you're watching this video, you're probably spending too much time on the internet, and you probably have more of these qualities than you might imagine. You really need to get on it and do something about it. And I'm sharing this here now because it's something that I had to go through. I went through this. I had to go through this transformation myself, and I'm still working on myself. Made a couple videos here and got a few good friends, a few relationships under my belt, and I'm in a career I enjoy, and I'm developing in it as time goes on. And it's something I wish I heard sooner when I was younger. Whether it was something I heard from someone I respected or something in a book I read or whatever. I just wish I had this idea, this information presented to me when I was younger. So, yeah, if you're shy, fix it. Exposure therapy, like just go out and talk to people or go to the gym. If you are unaware, meaning you don't take stock in other people's feelings or existence, again, you need to address it. Go to the gym, pick up a hobby, do something, get some kind of social job or volunteer. And if you are unaware, again, you need to build that awareness somehow. Going to the gym is going to solve a lot of your problems. Start doing that. You don't need to get ripped or shredded or buff or whatever, but you just need to be healthy and keep trying in life. I can imagine a better fix than that than just getting a gym membership or, just working outside or something. But yeah, you need to be like an active member in your life. You were born with a lottery ticket, a gift of life, something you didn't have to scratch this lottery ticket, you just got it. And it's a lot of big potential, man, no matter how or where you started. You can do a lot of good things with that gift. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you guys next time, whoever's listening. Take care of yourself.